Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Passively Offside. My name is Taylor, and the music repeated, and I apologize. As always, with me in the studio, we've got Nephi and Splenda. You will notice that we are down a man tonight. We are down Brandon. He is out right now. We also, if you notice, do not have Boris on our bottom bar there. Boris is currently calling in. We've got him on the line right now, and we will get to him momentarily. That's why I've got this in my ear. So... let's actually get to Boris real quick.
Yeah, let's actually get him on.
Let's talk to Boris. Boris, go ahead and unmute yourself, and I want to kind of talk to you real quick because, as we all know, Boris, for the summer, is in South Dakota, living out his boyhood dream of living as Abraham Lincoln. Boris, how's Lincoln going?
Lincolning has been pretty hard for me. I have a problem with honesty. So the one thing I will say about South Dakota that's nice is that the weather seems to be nice and bright, and occasionally every so often I'm able to see a nice thunderstorm that rolls through. Back to you guys in the studio.
Very nice. Okay. Well, I don't know about Boris, but I think we all are hoping that he's going as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, not just Honest Abe. Anyway, moving on there, we have scores. These scores, as you know, are for all of our predictions. These are going to include the last two games from last night. There were two MLS games last night. We're rolling those in because next week we're really not going to focus on MLS. And we'll get to that. So, scores, if I look these up here, myself, I am at 36 of 102. Not great. Boris, who is our leader, we looked that up earlier. He is leading at 43 of 102. Thank you. Brandon is at 40 of 100. Nephi is at 32 of 92. And Splenda is at 29 of 92. Again, that includes last night's games. Some people didn't vote for those. They get zeros. Happens. We're also going to make sure we up all of the scores. We're still working on that. Everyone's just going to kind of make predictions. We'll do it. You'll see.
It'll work out.
Anyway, we're going to go back to Boris real quick because, again, he is on the line, and we want to kind of get to this real quick. Boris is going to fill in this week for Brandon talking about Germany. So, Boris, let's go back to you. Give me some words on Germany. How do we feel about them?
Well, Germany has always been a contender when it comes to the World Cup. Germany is a three-time champion, a four-time runner-up, and a four-time third-place finisher at the World Cup. This particular squad this year is actually pretty impressive. They're coming in off the qualifying run of 9 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. What we're going to have to be looking forward to it as a U.S. fan is being able to control their backs. They have a pretty solid defense. Their team is going to be led by none other than Philipp Lahm, who plays for Bayern Munich. Probably one of the most versatile backs in the game. Can play any side and can also play that defensive midfielder role. Look forward to a lot of interchanging play in the midfield. We have Mario Götze, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and also, by the way, just so everyone knows, Bastian Schweinsteiger is just a great name to say. As well as, Cruz and Klose. They're a pretty stacked team, and definitely going to be one of the harder ones to beat. But one good thing we have to look forward to against Germany is that they are 0-2 in World Wars, and we are the reigning World War champion. Hence, I believe we will beat Germany 2-0. Back to you guys in the studio.
Wow, okay. Thank you, Boris, for the World War stuff there. We are going to drop Boris off the call right now. Just going to mute that section. Boris is going to stay with us on the phone so he can listen. If we need to get back to him, we can. Boris, I can't hear you, but thank you so much. You are now a white box instead of this larger black box, which we still have set up in case he were to get on. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I don't know if he gets on.
What?
Know
I'll see him get on right here.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, he'll join the hangout.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yes. Magic technology.
Anyway, I hope that went through okay. We can only hear what's on our end. We did test it, so we know it was going through the feed. Hopefully he was loud enough. Comments are always appreciated. Anyway, let's get to our news section. Again, this is kind of where we just run through stuff that has happened in the last week. So really, the biggest piece of news that I came up with was this was the week of ties, comebacks, and serious losses. Serious losses just being goal differential, as Splenda just asked me because he was confused there. I know, it was worded funny. I'm sorry.
I figured you meant serious losses as in, like, Montreal upset the Sounders. And it was like,
That would be a serious
that would
loss.
be. That's why I meant a serious loss.
No, I meant more of just goal differential.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you see RSL come off that rough week. They got shattered by Seattle, went on to play Columbus Crew, were up through the entire game, and the Crew came back in extra time, at the end of the game to tie it up. RSL leaves with a draw. They then come home to a game that we all attended against Portland, and honestly, I'm going to put this out here. My number 2 team is Portland.
Yeah.
So
That's fine.
Portland winning
I'm not-
wasn't the worst thing in the world, but they also destroyed us. RSL played just like they did against the Sounders, which was really not.
No.
We also learned that a lot of our fans are homers, and probably most of you are as well. So
Yeah, it was.
is that fair? I mean,
Yeah.
89th minute and half the stadium is empty. I mean,
well, that for one, but also a lot of people were complaining about the PK, which was legit.
it was
Straight
it was
legit. And
Watching
the red card to Beltran was legit.
legit.
That was
Yeah.
2 very
Those-
quick yellows, and a lot of refs would let the second one go because how quick that happened.
But the tackle.
But he deserved it.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
Legit.
If it was the other way around, if it went the tackle first and then dissension, you wouldn't have seen the red. The second yellow wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
Okay.
But the way it happened, yeah,
It was deserved.
it was deserved.
Did I like it? No.
No, my issue again comes back down to coaching.
Okay, let's not get too deep
Yeah.
into RSL. We're not
Yeah,
going to talk too
we're
much
not-
MLS today, and we don't want to be an RSL podcast. RSL everywhere. Okay. Wow, okay. So, talking about last night a little bit, Portland comes back very late to tie. And if you did not see that game, you
Wow.
missed one of the best games that will happen this season. I would love someone to correct me here and tell me I'm wrong, because you just can't. That was an amazing game, and someone we know said that Dallas got robbed a little bit with those red cards in the PK. And I would disagree on some of it. I think the first red card was more than deserved. I think the PK was deserved based on the angle we had. And the second red card, it was a little light.
It was a little light. You just really saw Dallas falling apart.
Yeah.
But it's a team that you've seen that happen to already this year, where once they get one, it's just
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
can't control themselves after that. And that actually goes to look at that. I can't remember his name, but that young forward going after the assistant ref.
And that's what I'm going to say here. Dallas gets 2 red cards, a coach got ejected, and then one of their forwards, I forget his name.
Yeah, one of their young
One
prospects.
of their young prospects who started the game and played a good game.
got a goal.
Got a goal, rushed the 3rd or 4th official
Yeah.
at the end of the game. He will face suspension for
Yeah,
this.
he will.
I don't think
I
they
wasn't
didn't
watching the
show
game.
enough on TV to know if he put hands
Yeah,
on him, but
they
he
didn't
rushed
go-
him, and what they showed on TV, he was being restrained by his coaching staff.
This isn't
well-
NBA. Come on. I mean, coaches getting ejected, players rushing the referees, like
This is happening in the MLS right now.
Well,
Great.
the biggest thing I can take out of that, though, is at least we're seeing teams being passionate about it.
Okay.
And
Fair point.
that's the only upside maybe on that is Dallas should have got 3 points until they started falling apart.
That's the thing.
Up to like the, I don't know, like 60th minute,
Yeah.
they had that game.
Absolutely. And then they
lost
let it go.
Yeah, and it was their fault.
Yeah.
Rightfully pissed that it's your fault. But
I have not seen a PK recently that was not deserved, except for the one that we're going to talk about later. That one was not deserved, and we will get there. And Boris has joined us momentarily. He looks to be muted. Let me...
Oh,
no.
Boris is driving. Here's Boris. Boris, we're going to keep you muted because I don't want you to say words. But can you not be here while you're driving?
Don't text and drive.
This
bro.
is Boris. This is what he does. I'm going to eject Boris from this call.
Have someone else drive, bro.
Just
Yeah,
going to eject
dude.
him. I'm not going to block him because we know what happened last time that happened.
Yeah, just get someone else in the steering wheel. maybe a Jesus if you have him there.
He's also driving a manual car. Yeah, like
Jesus take the wheel.
but he's also driving
really
a
racist.
manual. Get the cards out.
I don't know what.
Oh shoot, forgot about that.
Anyway, moving on to some other things. Again, finishing up that Dallas thing. He will face suspension on that. We can assume the MLS disciplinary committee will take a look at that and kind of go from there. I'm excited to see what happens. Young prospects especially should not be doing stuff like that. That's what it comes down to. In other news, Seattle continues to destroy the league. And honestly, if they keep it up, they're going to win the cup. If they keep killing every single team,
yes,
they'll at least get supporter shield.
They'll get supporter shield. Yeah, I wouldn't say they'll take the cup yet, just because of how tired they're going to be at the end.
And anything can happen during the playoffs. You get one loss, you're out.
Yeah.
So yes, they have lost this year. It can happen.
They were horrible at the beginning.
Just at first, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is they had some definite rough patches in the beginning, and.
But yeah, I mean, even without Clint Dempsey, they're killing it. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where they go as well. Chivas is able to hold a tie to LA, which was surprising. And Chivas drew first blood. Chivas draws first blood in that game. LA comes back, gets a goal, a beautiful goal, that header. Did you see that?
They did.
It was great. Beautiful heading goal, but they couldn't capitalize. So end with 1 point apiece. In great news, something that I, as a goalkeeper, absolutely love, our boy Tim Howard had his 100th cap with the U.S. men's national team against Nigeria. If you missed it, he had awesome gloves from Nike
I was about to say
that said Tim
cap.
Howard 100th cap on it and had a flag. If you didn't see that, go look at it. Google it. They're awesome, and I'm jealous.
Great.
I want those gloves.
You're not gonna get them.
I got like crap. My gloves are already falling apart. I haven't even had them that long.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a goalkeeper that just gets stuff, so I have to buy my own things. Finally, in news that's really not a big deal, but I thought it was a little funny because of the scoreline. Germany slaughters Armenia 6-1 in their last send-off game. We know Armenia's not the most prominent team. They're not going to be a huge threat, especially against a team like Germany, who we just heard about.
I'd like to add something real quick on that. Yeah. If you don't know this, Germany only had 2 warm-up games, none of them in the heat.
Ooh.
Wow.
That I did not know.
That was actually a big talking point a little while ago. Is when you're doing warm-up games, especially for the World Cup, everything's condensed. So when you're doing warm-up games, you want to prepare for your weather. Yeah. Where in Brazil it's really hot and humid.
You want that analog.
They didn't.
That's why we played in Florida.
Well, yeah, that's why you saw a lot of teams playing in America, down south. A lot of people were like, oh, why is this happening? Well, we're the closest one with amenities that can handle that and give them the
without actually going to Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, thank you. Good to know. Regardless, slaughter Armenia.
Oh yeah.
Which that scoreline 6-1, that's just kind of laughable. Yeah.
Poor Armenians.
Poor Armenians. To my Armenian friends out there who don't listen to the show, I love you.
Go smother your tears in gold curtain rods.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on, just so you all know, if you haven't noticed already, we are switching from an MLS-themed podcast to more of a World Cup podcast. If you aren't aware, Major League Soccer is taking a 2-week break away from regular season for the World Cup because there are so many players gone. They've been gone for quite a while because of training camp, but now that the Cup is actually happening, we're taking that 2-week break. If the U.S. were to get out of group stage, that break again is only 2 weeks. We would continue on past that. Teams who don't have their players, tough luck. That's just how it goes.
Well, is it such tough luck there? The national teams are doing well.
Well, that's right, but I mean for those teams.
For the club, for the club. For us American fans.
They're giving the break to the group stage, which is exactly what they should do. If they gave a longer break for the entire Cup, it wouldn't make any sense, and it would be a floating schedule. You can't do a floating schedule.
No, and this is why there's also still been that talk about switching our schedule to the rest of the world. It won't happen, but that's if you look at everybody else, that's why. Is because
play like August through March.
Well, yeah, but look
like
at the
which just wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work in the Northern Hemisphere.
Nope.
Well, it does.
Well, I mean, in England.
Yeah. Where it rains and snows just as much as it does here.
Not quite. Not quite.
Okay, anyways.
Not quite.
Topic.
Ladies?
Science will prevail.
Okay, all right. Let's stop that. Yeah, so that is something that has been talked about for a while. I believe Don Garber said it could never work, though.
Oh, it wouldn't.
It just wouldn't work.
Just because of the biggest thing, though, is our American sports that would be going up against.
American sports we're going up against and American fans.
Yeah, it's true.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Would I go to a game in the middle of December?
No.
Yeah, I would.
What?
I would.
I mean,
I absolutely would go to a
I
game.
thought you meant the
MLS
normal
Cup
American
is.
fan. The normal American
okay.
fan.
No. If
You
we're
said
talking,
I.
if we're talking average fan,
us,
no.
I would probably do it. Yeah.
MLS would lose a lot of money off of this, or the clubs would lose a lot of money off of this. I don't know why we brought this up and we continue to talk about it. It's not in our notes, but they would lose money. It won't happen. We'll roll with the punches.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to talk about the. You want to talk Open Cup?
Yeah, we'll do Open Cup and then go to World.
Good. We'll talk World Cup in a second because guess what? Today was the first day of the World Cup.
Woo!
I like that. I like that
That
a lot.
worked.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this.
It's the chemistry. We'll talk World Cup in a second. We're going to talk Open Cup first. And so you know, during that 2-week break from the MLS, the Open Cup is still going on. So MLS teams are still playing, just not in regular season games. Over to Nephi with the teams that have already played and what's coming up.
Yeah, so this week is the first week that MLS teams have been in the Open
Round
Cup.
4.
Yeah, it's round 4.
Yep.
So we're just going to cover the 2 MLS teams that played on Wednesday. That was Houston Dynamo versus Laredo Heat.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're from.
Laredo Heat. Oh,
Laredo, Texas.
Probably
Laredo, Texas.
That would make sense.
Okay, it would.
Geography.
Okay, so we're going to keep going. So Houston won 1-0. San Jose 2-1 against Sacramento. Both a California team. The first one's 2 Texas teams.
Texas.
I think a lot of people are playing nearby teams.
Well,
Yeah,
I would
for
say
us.
that, but then look at us, because we are playing Atlanta Silverbacks.
That's true.
On Saturday.
But we're
Us being RSL.
Yes.
Yeah, RSL. Sorry. Yeah, RSL versus
We're
We're not
Atlanta
an RSL
Silverbacks.
podcast.
Yeah, I know. Well, the wall.
The wall.
And then
There's a Portland one over there.
There is. And
yeah,
there's,
and there's
also-
2 Kansas City.
Okay, let's not do this again. We did it last week.
So and then Carolina versus Chivas, and then the biggest one I think that's going to be on Saturday is New York Cosmos versus New York Red
The
Bulls.
battle for New York.
Yeah.
The battle for New York.
Until we get our third, and then we'll have a try.
Cosmo's gonna go MLS too? Because that'd be
do you
4.
think?
There's no way.
They've been in talks.
There's no way New York can sustain 4 teams.
New York Cosmo has a great following.
Right, but they're not MLS.
They're not. But
If we had an NSL team, I would go there too.
What I'm saying though is they already have a great fan base.
True.
Okay.
So if they already got the people following them, if they can come up with the money, and I think they
Probably
They probably
can.
do.
then
It's
they probably
New York.
can.
They'll just throw money.
What
at
I'd be
the
worried about in that regard is that there's already 2 teams,
Yeah.
Red Bulls.
Red Bulls and NYFC.
NYC.
They're going in. I said 4 before. I meant 3.
Yeah.
I meant 3.
I was thinking you were also lumping in the Revolution.
Which is close.
I was like,
Close.
they'll definitely want to play off like the Patriots.
But look at
rivalry with
Exactly.
everybody else.
Look at the. I guarantee you there's going to be a huge split in New York fans,
Mhm.
NYFC, NYRB.
Yeah.
There's going to be a huge split. You had a third team to that.
Oof.
I bet you anything Red Bulls and NYFC fans are also Cosmos fans because the Cosmos aren't in the MLS.
There's no
Cosmos come up to
No, if I
MLS.
remember right, though,
huge
New York
conflict.
Red Bulls actually isn't in New York.
Yeah, they're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They have a stadium in New Jersey, but it's
Well,
basically
okay.
New York.
It is basically.
It's like
I mean,
10
it's really
miles
close.
away.
But there's a lot of population.
Everything there is
Oh no!
just like
If they have the fans, we can see it, but it won't be at least for another 4 or 5 years because the slots that are already coming out for the new teams have been filled pretty
Yep.
much.
has
So
to
if
wait
it
for
happens,
expansion.
it's way down the road. We'll see what happens down the road.
As someone who was raised in New York, not New York City, New York State, but still a New Yorker, I can say that the New York Red Bulls are not actually from New York. They are from New Jersey, which is not the same thing. Get out, New Jersey Red Bulls. So
That would actually be an interesting point if they changed New York Red Bulls to the New Jersey Red Bulls.
they would be awful.
I know.
Their
it would be
their
trash.
quality would just be
Yeah.
down.
Thierry Henry would be like, nope,
Nope.
can't do it.
In other news,
Can't do it.
Let's. What?
what did you have to finish something there?
I was just gonna say let's wrap. But if
I
you
was
want-
going to say, in other news, if you guys didn't see, Miami has declined
Ooh.
Beckham's downtown stadium.
Yeah.
So he's getting pushed out, and who knows when Miami will come in.
Well, I think they will.
Team Miami Vice.
What Miami has said is pretty much we don't want you to have a waterfront property. Is what Miami
They want to
said.
do a Philly?
No,
Do
they
want to
don't
be
want
water?
a waterfront property.
They don't or do?
Don't.
Don't.
Okay, I got
Because
you.
both sites were waterfronts, and
Okay.
they're saying
They
no
want
to
somewhere
that.
a
They
little
want
more inland.
something.
Look at Philadelphia's stadium, though.
Right on the water.
Philly's is an amazing stadium.
Oh,
I would like to go
The
visit that.
NCAA lacrosse playing there was so
ACC
cool.
I
conference
still-
championships, semifinals and finals. It was great to see it.
It
I
was
still
beautiful.
think though Miami gets the team because Beckham.
They'll get it.
Because
Oh, yeah.
the biggest reason is Beckham, besides not getting his thing, keeps pushing to get the other things set up.
And he wants to play.
You think
He
he's
said
doing
he
retirement?
said he is. He said in an interview that he does not feel good being retired.
Okay.
And the last line of that interview was something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, I've never seen a player-owned team.
Oh.
So he's thinking about
He
it.
probably
That
wants to come
confirms
back.
he's thinking about it. That is no confirmation that he's going to play.
I don't think it'll happen.
We'll see. We'll see. I could see him coming back to play for his own team, though. I don't think that's the best idea. Kind of a conflict there.
You can't try and be Michael Jordan in Space Jam playing for his own team. Like, that
Only
would
Michael
just
Jordan
suck.
can be
Yeah.
Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
He became a billionaire today.
Today?
Today, because he put more stock in the Charlotte Bobcats.
What does that have to do with soccer?
Nothing.
Good.
Okay, cool.
But it has to do with
Let's go to World Cup.
World
So,
Cup.
going to World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Once again,
World
the
Cup.
World Cup started today! I like how you go down really quick.
I wanted to grab a scarf, that's why. Where's
your scarf?
It's right here. I'm trying to make sure I can actually read it.
Oh, there we go.
And
There we
everybody
go.
can
Now
read
he's
it.
got to put his bandana on.
That's ultra.
There we go.
I'm
Yeah.
so ultra
That's
right now.
ultra.
He's going to go burn buildings.
Mm-hmm.
I like how for our screen it says ASU
I know.
because we're backwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brazil and Croatia kicked off today with dubs. Did you guys see that?
No, I did
They
not.
kicked off with dubs.
They've done that before.
Like
It's kind of
three
like-
kids walked out center.
Oh,
Both
shoot.
teams were around the center circle, each team on either side.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Either the full team or the full starting 11. I'm
Full
Probably
starting
full.
11.
probably full
11,
starting
yeah.
11. Three kids holding
Oh.
dubs walk all the way into midfield,
Mhm.
turn around, and then just nah.
For some reason, I thought you were saying dubs.
Oh,
And I'm like, dubs.
No,
with
I
a
know.
V like Victor.
Yeah, okay, that makes
They
sense.
threw
the
dubs.
Yeah, and one of them didn't make it out. Like one of them went
What?
up into the the stadium and then just like sat on like one of the top benches.
Yeah.
One of the one of the guys I follow on
confusing,
Twitter,
man.
he's like, yeah, so one of the dubs didn't make it out. He's just chilling up here. It's like,
Bad luck for
Alright.
Brazil. We can anticipate them losing now.
Yeah.
ha,
That said,
Yep.
they
witch doctors.
lost
Mhm.
and won today. Looking at the score sheet, they ended the game 3-1. Looking
Spoiler
at, spoiler alert for a game that happened a while ago. Looking at the paper tape of the game, they lost. They did
Statistics.
not play a good game.
Their defense was horrible.
Their defense was awful.
And they came out awful. And
Neymar. That's why they won.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, it was because of
Neymar.
Neymar.
The name,
Well,
Neymar.
and it's funny though. A lot of
That's all.
people
Yes.
have they've been having their last two preps in the open, for fans and stuff.
Mhm.
And a lot of people were noticing they were not practicing at game speed. They were pretty much going out there to show people, hey, look, Brazil, we're out here, we're just having fun and just goofing off. Like yesterday's practice,
Mhm.
yesterday's practice. All they did was switched roles, so offenders were defenders, defenders were offenders, and they just played around.
Okay.
That's
So
not
they're
how you-
confident, apparently.
I guess they're confident. That's horrible.
They did not play a good game today.
No.
Honestly, they snuck away with one. That penalty kick, the penalty kick I mentioned
Super
earlier, super soft. There was a tug, not enough to pull a man down.
But it's Neymar.
Initially.
Did
wasn't-
Neymar
it
get
wasn't-
fouled?
No, it wasn't.
Neymar took
Neymar.
it.
It wasn't Neymar.
Neymar
No,
took the beat.
Neymar didn't get fouled.
I don't remember who
Neymar
got
took the
fouled
kick.
because I don't know Brazilian players except for Neymar. And Neymar scored 2 goals because
Was it
of
the
that
big guy or the smaller guy?
Was it Hulk?
Well,
It wasn't Hulk.
So then it was
Hulk.
Fred.
It wasn't Hulk.
Yeah, there's Hulk, Fred, Bernardo,
Yeah.
David. What's his name? David
Silva?
Silva. There's Thiago Silva, and then Danny Alves. That's the guy.
yeah.
Danny Alves is the guy who ate the banana that got thrown at him during the FC Barcelona game.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, honestly,
Thank you.
they really snuck away with one. Croatia. So I posted this on Facebook. Croatia draws first blood, gets first goal of the World Cup.
Not at their
But
own game,
they received the
Mhm.
first goal Brazil scored the first goal on themselves.
One thing to note about Croatia, they did not have their top striker.
Really?
He got a red card against Iceland in their last qualifier, so he had to miss the first World Cup.
So he had to miss the first World Cup game.
Suspension.
No.
Was it?
No, he just had to
No,
miss.
Who was
no.
There was some guy that led a racist chant at the end of one of their games, and he got a 10-game suspension.
Oh, wasn't,
I don't know
wasn't
about that.
No.
Oh.
Again, I had spotty internet for that. Like
No, I
a little
don't
bit.
know, but
I missed part of the PK, and then all I heard was like, yeah, he's got a 10-game suspension for leading a racist chant. So
the world of soccer is very racist lately. Knock it off.
yeah, we're looking at you, European countries.
Right?
yeah,
Honestly, there are definitely racist MLS fans. We know that some of them are in Salt Lake.
Yeah,
that's true.
We're not gonna name names.
We're not going to name names.
No.
We know who you are. But European countries?
Horrible.
Stop. Who throws a banana at a player just because he's black?
The guy
The banana-
who has now a lifetime ban.
Okay,
from
the banana,
all
the banana
games,
is
all
small
games.
apples compared to the other stuff that actually goes.
Of course.
You
that's-
actually have people going in there in like Ku Klux Klan outfits, holding Nazi
Who from,
signs.
bad.
Who
Like,
from
it's
the
horrible.
USMNT didn't
Oh,
make it?
it's Maurice Adu, who you're thinking
Adu.
about in Scotland, where he had
One of his own.
one of his own fans. It was against their last Champions League game against Barcelona. They got slaughtered 4-1. Everyone was down, and he even said, "He's like, you know, I kind of expected to have some pushback on fans just because it was a really heated game.
Absolutely.
But to this day, he still won't say what the fans said to him. But he said it took him almost 2 days to even just grasp what happened.
What happened, yeah.
And he said even after that, like it really knocked him out because your own fans.
I don't blame him for not wanting to repeat it. I'm really, really curious at what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one to ask him.
No, that's terrible.
And that's why, as American fans, we haven't had that much involvement in FIFA. But this is stuff that happens that we can address
Absolutely.
and should address.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap that up, stop being racist. It makes no sense. It's the 21st century. It's 2014. And they're better soccer players than you.
Just because they're different.
I mean, come on.
No, I
You
agree.
you're gonna throw racist remarks at someone who makes more money than you'll make in your entire life and plays a sport that you love better than you ever will?
The thing that baffles me is this, is that they're that good, they're playing for your team, winning you trophies and league titles, and you abuse them.
We're getting really abusive towards the camera right now.
Well, I know, it's not like our fans, but it's just like, it's like biting the hand
Yeah,
that
this
feeds.
isn't going to you who happen to be watching who my thing says 0, but by the way, that's not always right. So if you're watching right now, we love you.
Happiness and sunshine and puppies.
Yeah, let's. So Boris is not back.
This has been a great chat, and I think we've actually almost eaten up a full 30 minutes. Because it is World Cup time, we're going to go to Splenda with just a brief history of the World Cup. For those of you who probably know but maybe need a refresher, or if you happen to be watching, like Splenda's brother who does every now and then. Hi, Sugar. You're going to learn a little bit about Sugar, and then Splenda, and then their little brother, Sweet and Low.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows your family.
Perfect. I love it so much.
Give Sugar a brief history of the World Cup so that he stops making fun of soccer.
Everybody else.
Okay.
World Cup. Official title is the FIFA World Cup. Big surprise there. FIFA is Federation International Football Association, but in French accent.
But in
I can't do it.
that exact phrase
I'm not even going to try
with a French
it.
accent.
Yes. It was first played in 1930 in Uruguay. The first champions were, spoiler alert, Uruguay.
Who came in third?
Get into that. The U.S. Our best result.
That was the best result
To
ever.
date.
We don't
The
even
first
count
cup.
that as a result.
That was the only time we got into the Final Four.
Yeah. It was first played in 1930, and it takes place every 4 years. So the last one was in 2010, then 2006, yada yada. Except for 2 times, 1942 and 1946. World War II was going on, so they're like, soccer doesn't really take priority here. The reigning champs right now are Spain. They won it in South Africa in 2010, which was the first World Cup final win for them.
Yes.
I had it backwards for a while.
Splenda earlier said that was their first World Cup visit. And
that's
then
why I was so stoked about it.
I
Good
double
for
checked
them.
that because it sounded so wrong. They've been in
I
19.
misread
It's
it.
okay.
No, it's
19 or 13.
He's new to soccer and the world of soccer.
It was
so
19 or
we give him
13.
passes.
It was a lot. It's
Anyway.
more than us.
Team that's won the most World Cups is Brazil.
Brazil.
In 1982, they went from 16 teams in the World Cup to 24 teams. And then in 1998, they expanded from 24 to 32 teams with the group play that we know and love right now.
And that's why we're not very good anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of happens. 2 players have played in the World Cup a total or 5 times individually. Antonio Carvajal from Mexico and Germany's Luther Matthaus. There's an umlaut in there, and I'm not so good at German pronunciation. So there's that. And the top goal scorer, who do you guys think has scored the most goals in World Cup
Can
history?
you give me?
I'm not going to get this. I am not even going to get close.
Can you give me a region?
Tim Howard.
The region.
He actually has a goal, you know that?
Yeah.
Does he
Scored
really?
against Bolton, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah, he scored a
He
goal.
did score against Bolton.
I need to look that up in a
Can
minute.
I get a region?
I'll give you the years when he played.
Okay.
1998 to 2006.
Oh Jesus.
Ooh, that's hard.
Oh, it's an easy one.
1998
When you hear it, you're going to kick
2006.
yourself. Yeah.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Ronaldo.
Of course
With
it's Ronaldo.
15 goals.
Yeah.
Of course it's Ronaldo, who is not going to be playing.
Yep. And then
Well, of course he hasn't played in years.
and in 2006, he was just out of shape. It was bad.
Oh yeah.
It was-
Actually, a lot of people were where he had a little bit of a gut, but he's Ronaldo.
But he's
still pulls it
Ronaldo. He
off.
can beat any of us in soccer asleep.
Yeah.
And then 2 guys are tied at second with 14 goals each. Miroslav Klose from Germany.
Hmm.
And
I guess from Germany?
Miroslav Klose.
That's a Russian name.
No, it says he's from Germany, though.
Right, I know.
That's
Miroslav
what
Klose.
Wikipedia says he's
Right,
from Germany.
born in Germany to Russian parents.
Probably. And then guy a little older, he's from West Germany. Jared Mueller.
I like that West Germany's a separate team.
Yeah.
They were.
I know they were. I like that.
And then the interesting one that I found was the 4th place goal scorer. He scored 13 goals in one tournament. France's Just Fontaine. I don't know how you'd say it.
What?
His name is Just. J-U-S-T.
Just Fontaine.
Yes.
Yeah, probably just Fontaine.
Just Fontaine.
But that's his name. Like, I'm not making. If it was Fontaine, I would have just said his name is Fontaine.
So-
It's Just Fontaine.
Just
Really quick,
yes.
do you have on there how many countries have actually won the World Cup?
I want to say it's
It's a low number.
I think 9.
More
Or
than that.
15.
Well,
But-
the reason I bring that up,
Mhm.
there's actually very few teams that have actually won the World Cup. It's a very few
Yeah,
amount.
because Brazil keeps hogging it.
Well,
Yeah,
they are at 4 looking for their 5th, or their 5th
They've
They're
won it
fifth,
5
looking
times.
for
They're
their
looking for their 6th.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But saying that, though, there's not that many teams that have won it. All the teams that have won it actually are in this cycle, which is, I think, the first time in a while.
Yeah. If you want to run through them real quick, Uruguay, Italy, Uruguay, West Germany, Brazil, England.
Yeah, it's the only
further
time they won
down
it,
it has
1966.
1966.
Yeah,
England.
off that.
Yes,
the Beats
that-
commercial.
yeah.
You guys ever paid attention
Yeah.
to
Oh
that?
no, I watched the. There was a 30 for 30 that they
Oh,
did.
yeah,
There
yeah,
was a
yeah.
small one about it.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay, anyway,
I'm reading up. I think further down there's.
England's not on there twice. I just went
No,
back
they
to
only-
England because
they've
I'm a
only
U.S.
won
fan. So 1966, England, Brazil, West Germany, Argentina, Italy, Argentina, West Germany, Brazil, France,
That's for the
Brazil,
first time.
Italy, Spain.
In Spain for their first time, which is really surprising. Spain's been a dominant force
Absolutely,
for some time.
Absolutely.
So
But yeah,
that's
Cool.
That's what's up.
Well, thank you for that, Splenda. We are wrapping up here. We've got just a couple other things that we want to talk about. Let's touch on U.S. versus Nigeria because we are playing on Saturday, or Monday, I mean.
Yeah.
We're playing Monday.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock
Mountain time.
6 Eastern. We are playing our first game.
Ghana.
Watch it.
Ghana.
Yeah, against Ghana. That's a big game. It's going to be on ESPN. It's going to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
It is.
They're
on
doing
ESPN.
all
All of them are on ESPN.
All running.
There's just so many
We'll
games
have
at once.
some, I think, this weekend on ABC.
Mm.
I want to say the weekend games.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to touch on this real quick because we are towards the end of our show here. My big thing about the U.S. versus Nigeria game is we got another PK called against us in that game. That's 2 PKs in 2 games.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the biggest deal, but it can be a little concerning. So, how do you feel about that, Nephi?
I'm all right, to be honest.
Good answer.
Well, here's the thing. Our defense isn't the solidest. They're not world class. We can always count on them to make at least one big mistake, and that was the one mistake they made. So it's kind of something you kind of expect as a U.S. fan.
Okay. Do you have anything to say about that? How did you feel about the game in general?
In general, it seemed like they were a lot quicker, and we tried to have this set up kind of offense that had a little bit more fluidity to it, and Nigeria looked a lot more fluid, like they could just take anything and just go with it. And that was my initial reaction, was like, they don't rely on 4 perfect passes to get a goal. Now, we have a little improvisation, but it seemed like Nigeria was just kind of like, yep, whatever happens, happens, and we'll score a goal out of it.
Yeah, it's quality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And here's a big thing that is kind of being brought up is Jurgen Klinsmann came in and promised us beautiful soccer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing beautiful soccer. We just don't have the talent for what people would consider beautiful soccer.
Well, Jurgen himself said the only way we could win the cup right now is if every player on our team had the game of their life every single game.
Yeah, and that's pretty much true.
And that's true. People got upset about that. I'm a U.S. fan. I'm wearing a U.S. jersey. I know we're not going to win the cup, especially not this year. It's going to take time. Do I think we'll win it down the road? Sure.
We hope so. That's our goal.
We get better every year. Do I think we'll make it out of group stage? I do.
I do. Actually, especially the way games are going, the way Ronaldo came off injured today with a knee injury, if you didn't know.
After 20 minutes.
After 20 minutes, ice on his knee. Could be precautionary.
And they have Germany.
But with that being said, he has not played a warm-up game.
Yep.
Well, actually, I take that back. He played their last one against Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland was
okay. Oh, he sat out.
Made a cameo. Wasn't a full game.
Yep.
Okay.
Comes off injured. First game's against Germany. We're hoping Germany doesn't flop with they're not practicing in the heat, because that is going to affect players.
Yep, absolutely.
If you saw the game today, players at the end were just tired.
Yep.
The heat, the humidity.
It's hot, it's humid.
Yeah, it's just bad, and it'll get you. So our group's looking good for us.
Okay, let's move into that. Kind of wrapping things up here. We've got 2 games in our group. Did you have something to finish out?
I was going to say it looks better than it initially did.
I would say
on paper, when we first got our group draw, it was like, great, we're not getting out of group stage.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you know what? We have an actual chance to do well.
Yep.
We have a very good chance of getting that second or third spot.
And I think my biggest thing, especially coming off our last game, is the way our players were playing together and the way Jurgen, it was called the Christmas tree formation, the 4-2-3-1. Really, formations aren't that important. It's really where your player is and how you're using them to his strengths. It might say a 4-2-3-1. That's not actually how it is. Players have different roles on offense, have different roles on defense, and he made it so Kyle Beckerman played his game, which is sitting in front of those 4, being solid, which he does. He doesn't move up, giving Jermaine Jones a little bit more.
He doesn't get past like the end of the middle circle.
Maybe half at the most. You know, I mean,
he'll go right past.
Yeah. And which we need, because that gives our Jermaine Jones a lot more freedom to be a bulldog in the center, which we need him. That's his best position. That's what he loves to do. He gets to do that.
Yep.
Gives Bradley freedom to now be more offensive. If you haven't noticed, the man can hit long balls on a dime, and that's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And Altidore scored a brace.
Altidore scored a brace.
I mean, that right there, if that doesn't give you hope that our main striker, our workhorse up front, scored twice and has broke his funk.
There it is.
That second goal.
Also, just
and then Deuce is
deuce it up. Just deuce it up. All right, let's wrap this up here. I know you guys could talk about this all day.
I wanted to touch on Altidore's second goal. It wasn't a chance thing like a header.
No.
It was he worked for it and he got it.
It's okay.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say. He worked for it and that's it.
No, and I agree. I completely agree. He got his first one. He got the second one. He needed these. He needed to get that.
Yeah.
That was something that absolutely needed to happen because it was one of the biggest concerns people had about him. We were all worried he was dried up. He wasn't going to be able to do anything for us. And what does he show us in the last game?
2 goals.
He's still here. He's still here to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the thing. We win Ghana. We have to win Ghana.
We have to win.
We win Ghana. Hopefully Portugal's coming off a horrible Germany loss, so they're winded, they're tired, and we either tie or beat them. And if we do that, if we tie them, if we just tie
The
them,
draw is great.
we're through. We are through.
Hopefully.
Well, I mean, mathematically, other things can happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we beat them, we're through.
If we beat them, oh yeah.
Oh man, that would
Yeah.
be great.
But looking at statistics, your first win, if you win that, you have a 60% chance of going through your stage.
Okay.
Winning your first game.
Winning your first game.
Wow. Cool.
All right, I'm going to stop you guys there. We've got one last thing to touch on here, and that is really just the games in our group. I'm going to start with you, Splenda. I'm going to give you Germany and Portugal.
Great. Well, we know Germany is a hard fighting team. Portugal, they're not just a one-man team. Yes, not having Cristiano Ronaldo, hypothetically, would be a detriment to them, but they are a full team that can put together a string of passes and score with anybody. They're not just a one-man, like a one-pony show. So that is going to be a great game. You know, I think without the finishing power of Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Germany squeaks it out like a 2-1 victory.
Okay.
Like that's
What if Ronaldo plays?
if Ronaldo plays, it'll definitely be a very even match. I haven't watched Germany or done a lot of research. I couldn't hear what Boris was saying.
Germany will win.
You think Germany will win?
No. Germany.
In every way. Germany
Okay.
will
Germany
win.
will
Then,
win.
all right. Then you guys
Okay.
know more than me.
These predictions are not going towards our numbers, by the way. These are just predictions.
Just
I'm
for
giving you the other game. You've got U.S. versus Ghana. Now, we just talked about that.
Yep.
We need to win Ghana as
Mhm.
U.S. fans.
What's my
As
actual?
an analyst,
What's my actual?
who wins that game?
analyze it.
Taking my U.S. heart out of the
Take your bias out of
equation. That's a really close game.
It's kind of like a coin toss.
It really is. You could see a draw.
Well, let me ask you this. How many times have we beat Ghana?
We haven't.
That's exactly right.
This will be our third time meeting Ghana in a World Cup. They've beaten us both.
Yep.
First one was in group. Second one was first
Knockout.
leg out of knockout, and they beat us.
They knocked us out.
Like the last 2 World Cups.
Yes.
Do we want to say that?
This is three. This is
But-
the third in
but-
a row.
But do we want to say that this U.S. team is looking better than previous ones?
I
Because if you take
could
that
see
assumption,
that.
then you want to say that it's going to be
Well,
a
so if-
favorite game.
I think
for
we
either
want
one.
it more.
Yeah.
No, we want it more. I think we want it more. I think we're definitely the underdogs, and that always
Absolutely.
plays to our strengths. We always play better when
Absolutely.
we're the underdogs.
Mhm.
What it really comes down to is certain players' performances. That's what's going to matter about the game. It's going to be our 2 center backs, how they are communicating, our left back, who we are hoping is DeMarcus Beasley,
Yo.
and then really Michael Bradley having a game of his life. Really, all of our players need to have great game, like a good game for us to beat Ghana. But those are at least to me, the 4 players that need to have a great
wins?
game. I'll go tie.
You go tie?
I really
Okay.
can't call.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, if you're saying analytical,
Yeah.
it's really too close
Take
to call.
bias out.
I'll go 2-2 tie.
Okay.
Interesting.
Good numbers on that. I don't even want to throw my opinion out there on the show.
Of course you don't.
I'm not going to put it out there. That does it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to join us on Facebook at Passively Offside, Twitter at Passively Off. We also have a blogger that we host all of our, well, not host, but post all of the video links to YouTube as well as downloadable content. We pull this off of YouTube and allow you to download it. We don't care what you do with it, honestly. So if you want to listen to us instead of watch us, I don't blame you. I don't have the exact address for that, but it's on our Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like passivellyoffside.blogspot.com or something.
Mhm.
I post it every week. Be my friend on Facebook. I don't know, whatever.
You're-
Do we have anything else? Do we have other things?
I mean, there's a
I-
lot of things
I
we
mean-
always talk about, but
Well, no, I mean, like, do we have anything else I can plug?
There's this. United we stand.
United we
Just,
stand.
I mean,
For Splendid Nephi, I am Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us on what has been quite the ride today. We will see you next week, again on Thursday. We are doing Thursday nights because we're all in a rec league of soccer. So join us next week, and stay safe, or whatever.
Enjoy the World Cup.
Enjoy the World Cup. There you
Always
go.
spay neuter your pets.
Always spay neuter your pets. Thank you.